enjoyed partner of the Mighty Florida Gators. We'll have JC today. We'll have Andy Staples get his thoughts on the upcoming season.
Andy Staples.
And JC, you're on the Titan No More Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Town. How are we feeling today, JC?
Oh man, just Jim Dandy. Andy Staples, yeah, big Sports Illustrated, or is he still a Sports?
He's like on3 now, JC. I
He's
don't even know if
everywhere.
Sports Illustrated is around, is it?
Well, I don't know. I keep
There's a
hearing
swimsuit issue come out.
I keep hearing this guy, Pat Forty. He's one of the big Sports Illustrated. I don't know. That's a good question. Well, QB, listen, we're getting close. It's July 30th. We've got a month to go, basically. And in August, everybody gets the pleasure of listening to us as we get ready for football season. And I'm going to go ahead and when we get to August, we're going to do total wins over under. We're going to pick our conference champions. We're going to pick our NFL divisional champions, conference champions, and Super Bowl winner. We're going to pick
we're doing that today?
The highest. No, this is in August. When we go to August, we're going to have so many things to go through and to pick. And I'm going to do a lot of homework and research and read up on all these teams and players and the Gators, of course, and everybody that's getting ready to suit it up and kick it off, man. I mean, it's so great.
You know what I'm going to do about that, JC? I'm going to do this like I did when I played ball. I'm going to show up and just play.
You're going to play?
Yeah, I'm not going to do any research. I'm
you don't like tape. You're not a reader. I like to look at it. I like to look at who's in, who's out, who's looking to be who's going to make a difference with a team. I tell you who might be making a difference with this Florida team is your backup quarterback, number 15, Harrison Bailey. I don't know how much he'll play this year. I don't know how much DJ Lagway is going to play this year. But I do think both are going to play this year, and certainly we want to see DJ Lagway be healthy. But man, I mean, gee whiz, boots, shoulders, knees, elbows. It just and we haven't even played a game yet, QB. What's your reaction to all this injury news?
I ain't worried about it.
Okay.
Injuries are part of the game.
All right.
As I told people, look, we all want DJ to play. Will he play?
I don't know.
Possibly. Is there a chance that he doesn't play?
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah. Well, I just think
I like to tell people there have been many other players who have won games. Like, I mean, I want to go back to 1990. I was buried fifth on the depth chart.
Wow.
Nobody thought I'd win any games, right?
Nobody heard of you, QB.
Nobody thought Noah Brandeis would win any damn games, right? He wasn't highly recruited. So I would not worry about it.
All right, you're not worried about it.
There's nothing the fan base can do about it. Is root for the people that run out of the tunnel.
I agree.
And go take the snap.
I agree. I
got to talk about this before we move on. The Pro Football Hall of Fame, the 2026 candidates are one of our sponsors, Marquise Pouncey. Congratulations to him. JC, do you know who's up for the 2026 Pro Football Hall of Fame? Do you want me to tell you real quick?
I just heard yesterday the game was on Saturday or something like that.
Well, this is not the Hall of Fame game. This is inducted into the damn.
That's the weekend, right?
This is for next year, 2026.
26. Shoot, I'm sorry.
You got Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Jason Witten, Frank Gore, Des Bryant, LaShawn McCoy, Greg Olson, Julian Edelman. I don't know why he's a Hall of Fame. Up anyway. Marquise Pouncey, Philip Rivers, Stephen Gostkowski, and Geno Atkins. I don't know how many can go in.
Yeah.
But to me, there are two shoe-ins.
I think there's more than two on that list.
I think for the first year, like I said, I don't know how many can go in, but I think Drew Brees and Larry Fitzgerald are locks.
Absolutely, they're locks. I think Jason Witten is a lock.
Possibly. Again, I don't know how it works, but congratulations to Marquise.
Yeah.
Is Marquise the one that played for the Steelers or the
or the Dolphins? Yeah.
It is Marquise. Marquise was the Steelers. Okay. I can't keep up with them.
Mike played for the
Chargers. Chargers mostly, I think.
Yeah, and also I think one of them was in Miami, right?
All right. Andy wants to know, Shane, ESPN did a piece on the 1983 Egg Bowl, the Immaculate Deflection. Do you remember that game? If it's the Egg Bowl, because I went to every one of them. I don't know what they're determining the Immaculate Deflection. I think it's when Mississippi State literally, JC, you may not be aware of this.
Okay.
They played in Jackson, at Memorial Stadium, whatever the hell it's called.
Yeah.
Mississippi State had about a 25 to 35-yard field goal to win the game at the buzzer.
Right. The wind caught
They
it.
kick it,
Yeah.
it goes over the crossbar, and then the wind blows it
Back.
back to about the 1 yard line. And
Yes.
I remember I had a bumper sticker in my house that said, "Go Rebs, go, blow, wind, blow." So I'm
Oh man.
assuming that's what they are referring to
I
as the immaculate deflection.
I think that's probably true.
They were
Yeah.
saying I was there. I remember I was like, "Holy cow!" I was
That
13 years old.
ball flew through and came back. Yeah. Wow.
I mean, it went way over the crossbar, and then
I,
it came back and landed like at the goal line.
I also remember a game not too long ago, actually. Lane Kiffin is your coach for Mississippi, and the Mississippi running back ran in the end zone and then got on all fours and acted like a dog taking a leak in the back of the
Yeah,
end zone. They gave him a 15-yard penalty. They didn't score, and State ended up winning that game. So
right.
funny things happen in the Egg Bowl. That's one of the great rivalries, of course, and it's played on pretty much by itself. There's no other college game on the day it's played. A lot of times it's on Thanksgiving, I think. And
It used to be, not anymore. They play
yeah,
on Fridays now.
now they're on
Stupid.
Fridays. Okay.
Stupid.
Okay.
All about
Well, they
TV.
did. I mean, you got 3 NFL games. I guess they didn't want that.
Clint on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, says, Shane, did Billy say who the QB2 was? Someone said
Harrison
Warner beat Bailey out. I didn't go to the press conference. I didn't even listen to the press conference. I was busy. Aiden Warner may be a little bit ahead,
Maybe it is Aiden Warner.
but like I told you, I don't sit in the meetings, and sometimes coaches get too enamored with people knowing the offense, right? Better than somebody else. When I watch Harrison Bailey throw compared to Aiden Warner, I'm taking
Man.
Harrison Bailey.
Oh yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
If you just watch the spring game, that's what you saw, some balls spinning, man.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I mean, this guy's played now. This is his 4th school. He's a senior
This
and
is a six-year guy.
a 6-year guy, 4th school. Yeah, at some point, I think you just let him go out there and play. And even if DJ's healthy, I don't know how long. If the game's out,
DJ ain't going to be healthy the entire year.
No, he's not. But let's say
again, the calf issue is there, but the shoulder is what bothers me the most.
Yeah, and let's say they're up 30 against South Florida.
If we're up 30 by South Florida, I'll be a happy camper.
Right, and if that happens, you throw 15 in there and let him sling it, or at least take some snaps. But yeah, if they're up 30 against South Florida, man, that would be a well. I just threw that out there.
I think South Florida is going to be I ain't going to call it a dogfight, but
I'm not.
early.
Yeah, I mean they're going to have some athletes running around on that field too. The Long Island game, I expect clearly them to be up by 30. But man, after those first 2 games, it's a gauntlet. You have the October 18th game against Mississippi State in between Texas A&M, a week off, and then Georgia. So if you said, look at that schedule, tell me the easiest games outside of the first 2. I guess you would say, well, Mississippi State and Kentucky, right? They're predicted to be at the bottom of the ladder in the Southeastern Conference, but man, they play everybody almost. It seems like LSU, Texas A&M, Georgia, Mississippi, Tennessee. We'll see. Maybe Florida State will be one of the easier games.
Could be. You never know.
Josh
from Wawama on the Titan MR text line says, any good takeaway from Coach Napier's pressure yesterday? I didn't listen.
Well, look. So,
JC, did you sit around and listen to it?
No.
Oh.
Here's what I would have done 20 years ago. I would have gone out to the front of the driveway and got my Gainesville Sun, opened it up and read it, and then somebody would have given me some quotes. Whoever was the beat writer, probably let's call it Robbie Andrew, and he would have given us some quotes from the coach. I would have read those quotes, and then about 5 minutes later, I would have forgotten them. And then Pat Dooley would be on the other side of the front page with a column saying, can the Gators win more than 6 games? And something like that, right? And that's how you spent your day getting ready for the day. And, those days are done, man. There's no newspaper out there anymore. It's too bad.
The Pouncey twins, Mike and Marquise, invite you to try the mango martinis at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, handcrafted with their J.F. Hayden liqueurs. Try those flavors and find your favorite. Shop jfhaydens.com.
I couldn't believe that was the Pouncey twins when I looked at the commercial. My God, they've lost 100 pounds, both of them.
I think they lost more than that.
I mean, it's unbelievable. But, man, tell you, we here at PodUp with Mathews in the Morning, featuring JC for 3 days a week, have a tequila thing. We got tequila going here. We sponsor tequila. We've got the Pouncey's JF Hayden. We got Urban
We have
Meyer
a drinking problem on this program.
we got Urban Meyer with his Los Landeros. I got to try.
And then we got all coaches beers.
1960. What is it? 66.
They got, yeah. All right. This text here on the Titan Mart text line. I know you don't take much stock in press conferences, but Billy seems more confident as of late.
I love it.
Same feeling. And have you done your season record prediction yet?
Yeah. Well,
he's confident, dude.
That's coming.
It's the first time we've had a legitimate SEC roster.
Yeah. Lots of depth. Lots of athletes running around. Running back room, wide receiver room. Got some players on the offensive line that might be able to come in, and a lot of returning guys. This is a team that's got a lot of players that have been there, done it. I mean, Damian George, Jake Slaughter, Kanea Harris, Austin Barber.
Who's pronounce the Harris kid's
name? What the hell is it?
I think it's
Najee Harris. Excuse me, Najee. I didn't mean to offend.
I'm sure he's listening this morning before he's putting his cleats on.
Why wouldn't he be? And then, listen, I'm all about the Wilson boys playing wide receiver. Dallas and Eugene. They think this start event kid, the senior, is going to come in from UCLA and maybe start. Maybe.
All right, we got
start looks good.
We got a text on the Titan Mart text line from William. He says, Shane, I think someone asked Russ Callaway about different personnel grouping yesterday. He said they want to have the 11 best players on the field at a time.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
Well,
you're not going to have your 11 best players on the field ever. I mean, think about that.
Never.
Well, you have 11 players, JC, right, on offense?
Yeah.
You're trying to tell me that what I'm trying to explain is your 11 best players are you may have 4 or 5 wide receivers that are better football players than your damn 5 offensive linemen. You know what I mean? So you never have your best 11 out there. And here's another point. When you go 12 personnel, which I love, is 2 tight ends, 2 wide receivers, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Is that better than having your 4 fastest guys on the field?
It's the down and distance, dude.
There's so much goes into personnel groupings and you dictate usually.
Right.
The offense dictates to the defense what they have to do due to your personnel groupings. But to say the 11 best players, you never have your 11 best players.
Here's what they mean by that. They want the 11 best at a time where they need to do something.
Personnel groupings dictate what the defense can and cannot do.
Yeah.
All right. Did you know this, JC?
Okay.
Obviously, I'm sure you've heard of Dion's surgeries that he overcame.
No, I heard he had bladder cancer.
He had cancer. They took it out. But he's back. Yeah. I don't know how they kept it under wraps for 3 months.
He's got issues health-wise.
Do you know who his new quarterback coach is?
No, who?
Byron Leftwich.
Okay. Big tall kid from Marshall.
Yeah. He called plays for the last time the Bucks won Super Bowl.
Sure did. He was OC.
Yes, it's crazy that he's not an OC in the or a quarterback coach in the NFL.
Yeah, it is. A lot of times that depends on who the head coach is, right? So
that's very much true.
Yeah, and head coaches are going to get their people. And I tell you,
he's been coaching in the NFL for years.
Yes. Yeah.
It's very strange to me that nobody hired him.
Well, it is strange, and it's also strange that when they won the Super Bowl, he was the OC, and was it who? It was Bruce Arians was the head coach, right? It was Bruce Arians. It may have been, yeah, Bruce Arians, and so that makes sense. That Bruce Arians, offensive guy with,
All right, before we get to our Peachland Dental picks, I saw this Bill Connolly. I don't know who this guy is, but
it's just awful.
He works for ESPN. He ranked the best coaches in college football.
Oh God, it's the worst.
All right, so we're not going to go through all of them.
But you brought this up. Oh,
what's that?
Yeah, I can't believe you brought this guy up.
Well, I'm looking at his list, and I don't know who the guy. Do you know who the guy is?
He's some print guy, I think, a writer.
Well, anyway, he works for ESPN. He has. I'm going to give you the top 10 coaches from 1st to 10th. Ryan Day, Josh Heupel, Kirby Smart, James Franklin, Dabo Sweeney, Dan Mullen, Lane Kiffin, Brian Kelly, Jeff Traylor at San Antonio. Mike Gundy is number 10. He has Billy at 12. He has Steve Sarkisian at 29.
He doesn't even mention Kalen DeBoer. You just said Sarkisian's down there at 29. You got Brian Kelly, who hasn't won an opening day game.
How can you put Josh Heupel at number 2?
Josh Heupel, who's done what? Billy Napier, who's done what? I mean, what is this guy on? Is he on some sort of a hallucinogen or something? What kind of poll is this? I didn't know whether it was parody or if it was serious. I honestly, I looked at that thing and I just started kind of laughing.
Anyway.
But you know what? He got you to read it, didn't he?
Well, no, I didn't really read it. I just saw it. I didn't know what it was because I like to bring up some of this stuff during talking season. And I looked at it and I go, first of all, who is this guy?
That's
He
awful.
works for ESPN apparently,
Awful.
but he's clueless.
Awful.
This Day in Sports brought to you by
James
Campus
Franklin.
USA Credit Union. Put some star power to work in your financial life at Campus USA.
Has James Franklin beaten anybody?
I don't know, but I'm doing This Day in Sports. We're over that. We're done. We've moved on.
Well, Kiwi, you can't do it and drive by in 30 seconds and then just let me stand
he was in the
hitchhiking on the side of the road.
At least he was in the playoffs last year. 1982, the Atlanta Braves remove Chief Nakahoma to make room for more seating.
Another horrible thing. Another horrible.
Bring Chief Nakahoma back.
How many bad decision makers are there out there in the world? It's incredible. All right, moving on. Like you do, you just drive by the exit there, and then we get down the road, and what now? What's the next exit you're going to stop at?
Would you like to know what we're going to talk about now?
Yeah. What do we do now?
We're going to do our Peachland Dental Wyndham.
I knew that was coming. I knew that was next. Okay. All right. I like it.
And JC had the winner last week.
I did. Kurt
Kitayama,
who was, I think, 40-1 going off before the round started on Thursday. So
this is a huge week for a lot of golfers.
It really is, man. It's going to determine a lot of guys' plans for the next 24 months or next 12 or whatnot. And I like to look at the numbers on Hard Rock, which are usually worse in terms of odds giving you a better payout than in some other books. But we're going to go with one of the guys who's been so close here. He's at 30-1 on Hard Rock. He's at 42-1 on DraftKings and FanDuel. And that is a guy that is so close. And that's my boy, Jake Knapp, who is just so darn close.
He's by far my favorite golfer in the world.
You do love Jake Knapp. You love the hairdo. You love the swing.
There's no better swing in golf.
You love everything about the guy. He hits it a mile. He's one of the longest on tour. He's a really talented player. So he's got to break through at some point. This is at the Sedgefield Country Club, I believe, somewhere in Greensboro or North Carolina, at the Wyndham Championships, Wyndham, the hotel chain. And so let's go with Jake Knapp to start it off. Your turn.
Damn it. All right, I'm the captain, Keegan Bradley.
Keegan Bradley, 22.5-1. He is 10th. He is 10th in Ryder Cup points. This guy's going to play in the Ryder Cup and coach it or be the captain. Keegan Bradley. And I don't know if we've had a player captain here in the last 20 some odd years. I'm not sure we have. This tournament is good. I tell you, Ben Griffin has really done great things here in the last month and a half. Why not stick with him? He's getting 20-1 odds on Hard Rock. Go with Ben Griffin. Plus,
all right, you're going with the Carolina Tar Heel boy. I'm going to go with give me Matt Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, he is your favorite.
Oh, he is?
He is your favorite at 1750-1. I mean, it's hard to say who a real favorite is before the tournament starts. These odds are so big. But Matt Fitzpatrick's found his game here in the last month. I like the pick. I'll take this guy. Wears a hat. He's got a cool little hat that he wears.
Harry Hall.
Harry Hall. How did you know?
Because he's the only one that wears the damn Payne Stewart hat.
You've been watching golf, dude. Well, it's not a golf hat. It's like
it's the Payne Stewart hat.
Yeah, the Payne Stewart hat. He's 40-1. Harry Hall. I think for Harry Hall, you could definitely grab a top 20 or maybe even a top 10 ticket on Harry Hall. Get plus odds on both and cash that thing. So Harry Hall.
I want Michael Thorbjornsen.
Yeah. Okay. Where was he last week? He didn't really show up last week for us, but he is a guy you got to keep your eye on. Okay, I'm going to go down the list a little bit. This guy won the Barracuda, which was a
Wow.
Stableford scoring system.
Ryan Gerard, huh?
Yeah, plus
You're
47.
going with all the Carolina Tar Heels.
I forgot that he was at Carolina, but yeah, I mean, that's a great golf school, right? Ryan Gerard is my pick, the fourth pick.
So I took Michael Thorbjornsen.
You did.
Should I take Thorbjornsen Olsen?
Thorbjorn. It's
I'm not.
Thorbjorn. All right. How about Kurt going back to back?
I am taking Kitayama.
Yeah. Kurt going back to back. Man, shooting 60, claimed close to a 59 on Saturday. Probably should have had that 59, honestly.
Are we only going to take 4 or 5?
Five, one more. I'm going to take Max. I think Max at 60 to 1 is a play. Max Grace.
Well, I think he's got to get in like the top 30 or something.
Sure.
They're people who don't follow golf, they're playing for their cards. They're playing for getting into the signature events next year.
It's big.
They're trying to get into the Tour Championship. There's a lot going on this week in golf. So I got one more pick, and I'm going to go with.
Yeah. So
I don't know which one of these Hoygards is.
Nikolai or Rasmus, pick them.
Yeah, are they both playing?
And they look alike.
They're identical twins,
Yes,
JC.
they are.
I'm going to skip them, and I'm going to go with.
Okay.
I'm going to go Sun JM.
Man, guys, he just shows up, plays every tournament. You see him once in a while. And by the way, you can go as high as top 40 on these turns. So Sun JM is plus 125. That's $12.50 for 10 to finish in the top 40. That's gonna happen. That is
solid. He's solid.
Yeah, that's going
to recap.
Load up.
The last tournament of the year, the Wyndham, until the playoffs start. JC has Jake Knapp, Ben Griffin, Harry Hall, Ryan Gerard, and Max Homa.
Gracerman.
Huh?
Max Gracerman.
Oh, I thought you took Homa.
I took him last week.
Oh, you got Gracerman. Okay.
Yeah.
I think he's a dookie.
Okay.
I have Keegan Bradley, Matt Fitzpatrick, Michael Thorbjornsen, Kurt Kitayama, and Sun JM.
Wow. That is quite a team.
You got 2 Carolina Tar Heels on your squad.
You've got 2 international players on yours.
Mm-hmm.
Thorbjornsen is an American.
He's an American.
Yes, he is.
He played at Stanford.
As is Kurt Kitayama.
Yep. UNLV running Rebel.
Absolutely.
Or golfing Rebel.
And JC Deacon's guy.
Yep.
And then the captain, Keegan Bradley, the captain of the Ryder Cup team. It's late September. Florida will be playing on that weekend. Actually, Florida is off that weekend.
Oh, really?
Before the UCF. Oh, I beg your pardon. Yeah, no, that's correct. They are off that weekend. It's between the Miami and the Texas game that they will have the Ryder Cup. So Gator fans, you have a chance without having to worry about your football team to go watch some of this Ryder Cup, which, it's hard to watch during the middle, right at the beginning of college football, but sometimes the games aren't as great as advertised, and Florida will not be playing that weekend. So there you have it.
All right. Cedric on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law, says Goddard is on fire. He's not playing this week. He's taking the week off. And
he's got his card, though. He won the Scottish Open, so he's good to go. And, man, he's had some high finishes there at the British Open. He'll be back in that next year. Played fairly well at the 3M last week. 3 weeks straight when you think about it, and 2 of those going overseas or being overseas and then coming back and playing. I think at some point you got to say, I'm going to put the clubs away. I bought some new clubs yesterday, QB.
Where?
I got the Ping G3, the Ping G430s, a little bit more forgiving club than the 440s, and maybe I'll get 5 to 10 more yards. Dick's Sporting Goods.
Oh, well, you're a 5'8" guys can go in there and just get the ones off the rack.
Well, yeah. I mean, I didn't have to be fitted for them. Here's all I need: stiff shaft, black dot, a little bit of a forgiveness there, and
have you hit them yet?
No, but I mean,
you're going to be bitching and complaining.
I'll hit them fine. I did the same thing with the G400s that I've been playing with for 6 years, 7 years.
So JC, we're going to make I'm gonna make a rule on this show. Anybody that gives me one of these texts moving forward will owe us $1.
Oh,
What do
and
you
the
think this text is about on the
well,
Titan Lamar text line?
geez, I know what gets your goat on some of these text messages. It's probably something about coaching. I don't know. What is it?
Gary on the Titan Lamar text line says, Shane, what are your thoughts on
Oh,
DJ being injury
yeah,
prone?
there you go. Yeah.
Well, just about the quarterback being injured all the
Yeah.
time. So,
Yeah. Well,
look,
he doesn't
we
like
don't
it.
know. It's not good when your quarterback's not as I stated yesterday, the guy has not played a lot of football,
Right.
right? And you have to practice,
You do.
especially playing in this league
Absolutely.
when the bullets start flying.
I
Let's
mean,
just hope it's not serious. Like I said, I think the shoulder is my biggest concern more than anything else.
well, a serious injury to me, well, there's two types of serious injury. One that takes you out and you're done, and then one that doesn't allow you to practice, like you said, because without practicing, you will not play on Saturday and be effective if you do play. That's the way I think of it, because timing and all of the things that you have to do at practice to get ready. Remember, these kids have been off for what, 9 months? They haven't played since
We played December 20th, I believe, and then they had the spring game.
9 months, folks.
All right, JC, I'm going to ask you this. Did you watch the program yesterday?
No, I couldn't watch
You're
that.
usually a very loyal listener.
I do. I like to watch when you and Buddy go after each other. I love to watch Mike Morgan. I love, where the hell is Mike Morgan? Can we get him back on here, please?
He'll be coming back on in August,
All
I
right.
think.
I love Mike Morgan.
He loves you.
Well, and then Buddy, excuse me. Buddy, I love watching him because I've just known him for so long. And I like Lauren Meadows. I like him. So who'd you have? Yeah, Buddy.
I had Buddy on, but I saw this on, you may have seen it on, we're going to repeat a question here for JC. SEC teams with 3 or more 11-win seasons since 2013, JC, do you know who they are? There are 4 of them.
3 or more 11-win seasons. We'll start with Alabama and Georgia.
Yeah, those are easy.
And you said there's 4 of them? Okay. Let's put Tennessee in there.
Nope.
Oh, okay. Then we have to go with Mississippi.
Nope.
Damn, that's terrible here.
Well, one of them's a Big 12 school that's now.
Oh, I'm thinking SEC. You told me SEC.
Well, but you're missing one of the SEC teams.
I am missing one of the SEC.
So far it's Alabama, Georgia, and Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Okay. The other one would be Ohio State.
They're not in the SEC.
Oh, you said 3 were in the SEC and 1 wasn't.
Well, Oklahoma is now in the SEC, but they go back to 2013 for the 3 or more 11-win seasons.
Well, Ohio State.
They're not in the SEC, JC.
Okay, so you're just saying the 4.
They're current SEC teams.
Well,
Oklahoma, the current SEC team.
You asked it terribly. Okay.
No, I didn't. I read it verbatim what it says in here.
Okay.
You know what verbatim means, JC?
Yeah, I think I know that one. Damn, what's the
the Missouri Tigers.
Tigers, yeah. Gee whiz. Eli.
I just think that's interesting because
that is interesting.
I mean, nobody in the world would think the Missouri Tigers.
Nobody in the world. And that's here. Let's see. What are they supposed to do this year? They're they were 10-3 last year, QB.
Yeah, but that is not 11.
You're right, but still 10 wins.
All right, we got to go. We got to get to Andy Staples, JC. I'm sorry to boot you off the program, but
that's okay. Boot me. I'm booted.
See ya.
I'm going to the gym. All right.
JC joins us on the Titan Lamar Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Temp. Quick timeout. Come back. We'll be joined by Andy Staples. You're watching and listening to PodUp with Mathews in the morning from the International Diamond Center Studios. We'll be right back.
Our premium sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union,
International Diamond Center,
Meldon Law, QC Kinetics, UF Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute, JF Hayden Craft Liqueurs, Florida Cracker Kitchen, Los Linderos Tequila. Gridiron sponsors are Baker Sporting Goods, Comfort Temp, Electronics World, Florida Victorious, Gallo Car Wash, Miapa Latin Cafe, Peachland Dental, Quality Plumbing, Ruse Ogre State Farm, Silverback Concrete, 84 Lumber, Big Mills Cheesesteak, Celebrate Primary Care, Dowling Sign, Gator Bait Media, Gator Dominoes, Ironwood Golf Course, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, UF Bookstores, Nest and Wow, MG&A Wealth Management. Watch and listen to us live on Facebook and YouTube. Listen to the podcast whenever on Apple or Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. To become a sponsor, call my man Freddie at 352-284-3733.
I'm tired of you living in pain, and I want you to get real lasting relief from chronic pain in your knees, back, shoulders, and hips. QC Kinetics can get you moving again with cutting-edge regenerative treatments with no drugs, no downtime, and no surgery. Stop putting it off. Call now and schedule your free consultation. Call QC Kinetics now in Gainesville, Ocala, and the Villages. 352-400-4550. 352-400-4550.
Attention, attention. Your time is running out. There are just hours left before Spurrier's Gridiron Grill's Christmas in July promotion disappears. Right now, get 20% off Spurrier's gift cards. Perfect for fans, foodies, and future Gator greats. But hurry, come August 1st, the deal is gone. Stop by Spurrier's Gridiron Grill today or visit Spurriers.com to claim your 20% off gift cards now. That's Spurriers.com.
Welcome back to the International Diamond Center Studios. Gallo Car Wash, locally owned by UF alum and the only car wash that provides NIL opportunities to Gator athletes. Become a member and see why the Gators hate love bugs. We're going to go back to the Titan No More hotline courtesy of Comfort Tent. We're joined by On3's Andy Staple. Used to be an anchor on the Gator offensive line back in the day. What's up, Andy? How you doing, my man?
Probably all I did is the very good players who had to suffer next to me on scout team, I don't think I ever really helped them. I think they all helped me, but I'm glad they were very, like, Cheston Blackshear, very nice person.
I want to ask you, Andy, because I mean, you follow college football very, very well. They're going to do away eventually with walk-ons, correct?
They're trying to come up with some workarounds, but yes, I mean, I don't think they'll actually do away with the concept of the wall, because you can go up to 105 scholarships,
right,
according to the House settlement. Nobody's actually going to do that, or at least nobody's planning on doing that, because if you do that, those last 20 guys, they're just going to transfer because they're not. Nobody's coming in as a scholarship player at a big time program thinking, oh, I'm going to be on the scout team for 2 years and then I'm going to develop it. That they're not thinking that way. So they're still going to take some non-scholarship guys in that 105, but it's not going to be as many. And that's the issue. I hope they can figure something out. Like, they probably need to come up with a kind of practice squad situation like the NFL has, because that's what I would have been on. Like, I wasn't good enough to be on the dress roster and didn't belong out there, but I could help in my own way. And I do think there needs to be a place for people who are students at the school who can help the football team be on the team. And I'm hoping they can figure something out like that.
I agree, because some of my closest friends were walk-ons, and you can't have a football team without those type of guys. They're the glue of your football team. All right, Andy, let's talk about, obviously, the news kind of broke over the weekend. Billy addressed it yesterday. Your thoughts of the Gators heading into this season? I think we all know with DJ Lagway and the talent that this is the best roster that Billy's had. But now DJ's injured again. Your concerns?
It's not this particular injury, or it's actually not any one particular injury, because if you take all of these things separately, it's like, okay, it's a little minor thing. You rest here, you do this, and he'll be fine. It's all of them, cumulatively, and more so that it just seems to be one thing after another. And that's the frustrating part. And I'm sure that the coaching staff is frustrated, and I'm sure DJ's frustrated, because it does seem like the preparation for the season is not what they would have wanted, because you didn't get to throw very much in the spring. Now you're limited mobility wise and what you can do in full, 11 on 11 type practice. So that's the part that scares me, is you have this brutal schedule coming up. They need him to get through it. And if they don't have him, I wrote this yesterday at On3. if they had an average power conference schedule, I think they could probably win 8 games with either Aiden Warner or Harrison Bailey playing quarterback. With this schedule, I don't know if you can. I think you need DJ Lagway. It's so weird because it's sort of this razor's edge thing. Like, they could be 6-6 if things don't go well. But if you're better than that, then there's a chance you could be 10-2 and make the playoff. Because if you're in these games with the teams that, we're talking about LSU, we're talking about Texas, Texas A&M, Miami. If you're in games with those teams, if you're competitive with those teams, you can be a playoff team.
Agree. When you look at that stretch, LSU, Miami, Texas, and then A&M, I think the worst case scenario for us to have a season that the Gator Nation wants, we have to, worst case scenario, go 2-2.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
I would. I think you got to split those games, and preferably 2 of the wins are in the SEC if you have to pick. But I don't think. I think Miami's going to be really good too. They lost Cam Ward, but they did they made their defense a lot better. So I think they're going to be a playoff contender as well. So you're talking about wins that would matter, like if the committee's trying to figure that stuff out at the end of the season. Any 2 wins in that bunch are going to be good wins. But yeah, 2-2, and that's really hard because think about the 2 road games in a row, LSU, Miami. The Texas game, Texas may be the best team in the country. The one I look at, and I've said this about Texas A&M. If you look at Texas A&M's schedule, you'll laugh because they're essentially a trap game for every team they play. At least every team that has a coach that has to worry about his future. And where they fall in the schedule for Florida is absolutely brutal. Like, you have to turn around after Texas and go to College Station. It's a pretty tough situation. But they're like that for Notre Dame. They're like that for Florida. They're like that for LSU. Like, they can get a bunch of. They're not going to get Marcus Freeman fired, but they could get a bunch of coaches fired if they have a good year.
Buck's question for you on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellon Law. What are the chances of Jaden Ball being talked about in the Heisman conversation this season?
I'd say not high because it would be DJ Lagway. If Florida has a Heisman contender, it's going to be DJ Lagway. I mean, Jaden Ball is really good. I don't see him having to carry that much of the load. And if Florida's beating these monsters on their schedule, it'll be because DJ Lagway is doing amazing things. So DJ would be the one. If you're talking about who's a potential Heisman contender on Florida's team, DJ is the obvious one.
A text on the Titan Mark text line from Jim. He says, Andy, who do you think is the best team in the SEC, the best team in America, and your thoughts on Arch Manning?
I'm glad he went with Arch. I do think it's Texas because they did lose a bunch of their offensive line, but the thing that kind of solidified it for me was they didn't go into the portal and take a bunch of offensive linemen. They've been recruiting well all along. Kyle Flood's one of the better offensive line coaches in the country, and they said, you know what? We've got a bunch of dudes that are ready to jump in, and a lot of those guys have had to play. Trevor Gooseby, who's one of their tackles, is already getting a lot of NFL draft buzz, and he wasn't officially a starter last year, but he did have to start some games when Kelvin Banks got hurt. So they've got guys that have played, and then they have some absolute freaks. I mean, Colin Simmons was a freshman last year. He was unbelievable. Ant Hill's back. Michael Taff in the back of that defense is one of the best safeties in the country. They are loaded everywhere. They'll need some of their younger guys to step forward, but I do think like Ryan Wingo, the receiver, was a freshman last year. Well, yeah, he had Matthew Golden in front of him. He had some better players in front of him, and he was young. But I think Wingo is going to be another one of those, class of 2024 freak wide receivers like Jeremiah Smith, Ryan Williams, Cam Coleman. He's going to be one of those we talk about in that bunch. So they've got a lot of dudes. And then you've got Arch, who took an unusual route. And, when you got Uncle Eli and Uncle Peyton telling you, hey, this is how this works. If you sit for a couple of years and then you start for a couple of years, you'll be best positioned to be successful in the NFL. And I think they've done it really well. They've brought him along slowly. Now, he's interesting because he's not like you think, okay, this is Eli and Peyton's nephew, but he's actually Cooper's son. And you need to remember, Cooper was a wide receiver. and would have been a good player at Ole Miss, but he had spinal stenosis, so he never really got to play. So Arch has the athleticism of his dad, which is very similar to the athleticism of his grandfather, Archie, who was kind of a scrambling dual threat before there was a dual threat quarterback. Expect him to run the ball more. It wasn't an accident that when Quinn Ewers banged up his ankle last year, they brought in Arch to run. So you've got a pretty mobile guy who also has an excellent arm, and he's got a lot of good people to throw to. So that's the one I think they're very good. We'll see when they play Ohio State. Now, Ohio State has a bunch of people that are going to be new on that defense. So it may not be the version of the Ohio State defense we see by the end of the season, but it'll be a really good test for Arch Manning week one, first week as the official starter.
Yeah, I think he's a really good player, and people will see that this year. I think he's playing for the best play caller in all of America, and Sarkisian as well. Text on the Titan Mar text line from Larry. Larry wants to know, Andy, will you be going to the big games each week for On3 covering it?
It depends on the week. I actually prefer to go out on the road midweek, talk to people before the games, and be home where I can see all the games. And selfishly, my son's a sophomore in high school, so I want to see his games on Friday nights. So it's going to be tricky. But like week one, I'm going to Miami, Notre Dame, and then we'll see from there, because we don't really set the schedule out too far because we want to see what the biggest game each week is going to be. If the Gators are good, that actually helps me a lot, because Florida, Texas is the biggest game in the country. Well, that's 10 miles from the house.
Right. Speaking of that, another text on the Titan Mar text line from Will. He wants to know, Andy, your thoughts on Napier's job security and how many games does he have to win this year?
I don't know that there's a how many games. I think it's how the games look more than the number of games. If it's 7-5, I don't like his chances. But if it's 7-5 and they lost by 3 to 3 playoff teams, I'd have a hard time saying you need to get rid of somebody like that, because that's one of those things. If you just, the law of probability says if you have another good roster next year, some of those are going to go your way. So I just think it depends on what happens. And I know that it's not a satisfying answer. Obviously, if they make the playoff, he's fine. I think if they win 9 games, he's fine. I think there's a lot of scenarios where if they win 8 games, he's fine. But I think it just depends on how things go. If the wheels fall off, or if DJ gets hurt and they've got, it's just a bad year, that's going to be a problem. And we talked about this on my show, because my co-host Ari Wasserman said, well, okay, if DJ gets hurt, you're going to pin that on Billy Napier and fire Billy Napier. Well, yeah, it's year 4. Like, you're supposed to be deep and good by now. And the thing is, like, there wasn't a really good year in any of the other years. Like, we're talking about Brent Venables at Oklahoma, and he's probably going to get fired after this season if things go poorly. He had a 10-win season at Oklahoma. His second year was a 10-win season. Mm-hmm. Napier's been basically 500 every year. And so it's got to be better than that. You cannot just be a 500 coach at Florida. You can't. If you're a 500 coach for 4 years, you're a 500 coach. Like that there doesn't really need to be further research. But if you are playing against playoff teams and you are in the game every week against playoff teams, then that's the goal. So we'll find out. We will know, because this schedule will tell everybody what this is.
John on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mellon Law. Andy, what's your thoughts on Penn State, and do you think that they win the Big Ten?
I do. They are very deep, and I think they might finally have some decent receivers. The biggest problem last year was that they lacked dynamic receivers. And if you go to the Orange Bowl, the semifinal against Notre Dame, they did not have a single receiver catch a pass. And they're really good at every other position. And so they went into the transfer portal, and they feel like they got some good players. Last year, Tyler Warren, the tight end, was awesome. He had 104 catches, but they're just not going to be like that anymore. Luke Reynolds is the next up freak tight end. He's going to be good. But they've got Kyron Hudson, who played at USC. They've got Troy's leading wide receiver from last year, and then they've got a guy named Trevor Pena, who was Syracuse's leading wide receiver last year. if those guys are good, that's going to be a tough offense to stop because Drew Aller has. I don't know that Drew Aller. It's funny because the NFL people love Drew Aller because of his size and his arm. I don't know that he's ever going to be a great dynamic quarterback, but he can be an effective quarterback, especially given the weapons they have. They have a very good offensive line, Katron Allen and Nick Singleton in the backfield. And if those receivers are pretty good and Luke Reynolds develops the way we think he's going to, I think they're going to be pretty tough to stop. And then the defense obviously is going to stay good because they have Denai Dennis Sutton, they have Zane Durant, they just got Jim Knowles to be their defensive coordinator. He was Ohio State's DC last year. So I think they should be excellent. I want to see them beat somebody
right
that's favored over them. That would be Oregon coming to Penn State. Now, Penn State may be favored in that game, but that's one of those games that they have not won traditionally. They go to Ohio State. They probably don't have to win those two games to make the playoff, but I kind of think they're going to need to win at least one of them because I think the Big Ten schedule gets a little trickier this year. There's some pretty good teams. And for Penn State, there's a chance they could lose at Iowa. There's a chance they could lose to Indiana because Indiana is going to be good again. So I think they have to finally break through and win one of those big, monster on monster games. And so watch when Oregon goes to State College. Watch when they go to Ohio State. I think they got to win one of those to be in the playoff, but I do think they have the team to do that now.
Florida Victorious, proud NIL partner of the Florida Gators, joined today to help make Florida victorious. A few more minutes here with Andy Staples from On3. Text on the Titan Mark text line from Bob in Nashville. He says, Andy, who is a surprise team in the country, and who is your surprise team or teams in the SEC?
So in the country, I think some people are getting hip to these guys, but this is a team that had a really bad year last year that I think is going to have a big bounce back, and that's Utah. Utah was as bad as they've been under Kyle Whittingham last year, and a lot of it was quarterback injuries and just lingering. They didn't know what was going to happen with Cam Rising. They just probably weren't ready for that. This year, they have a new OC. They bring him in from New Mexico. They also bring in New Mexico's quarterback, Devin Dampier, who's a great runner. I don't know how well he's going to throw the ball. I don't know that it's going to matter. They've got Spencer Fano at right tackle, who's probably the best offensive line prospect in the country. And then they've got Lomu, their left tackle, is also really good. So they have a line that's built. Basically, all these guys on their lines were recruited to win the old Pac-12 that had Oregon and Washington and USC. And nobody else in the Big 12 has that. Nobody else in the Big 12 has that sort of beef up front. So Utah, I'd say, in the Big 12 and as a surprise team in the country. In the SEC, I think everybody assumes Ole Miss is just going to fall off the map because all those guys that transferred in last year are gone, like Walter Nolan's in the NFL, Jackson Dart's gone at quarterback. But a familiar name for Florida fans who follow recruiting, Austin Simmons, who obviously was committed to the Gators for a while, he steps in as the quarterback at Ole Miss. I think he's going to be really good. I was at Ole Miss, Georgia last year in Oxford when he had to get thrown in there in the first quarter when Jackson Dart got dinged up. And Austin Simmons looked like he'd been an SEC quarterback for 3 years. He looked like he'd been starting for 3 years. He was so calm, so collected against a really good defense. And it was interesting because before that game, I was watching them warm up, and he was acting like the starting quarterback, even though he wasn't, which is a pretty weird needle to thread. But he handled it really well. And we had him on our show a few months ago. You talk to this guy, you're like, okay, wow, this is impressive. So I think Ole Miss could still be very good. And it's funny because we said, last year's the year they have to make the playoff. And actually the Gators beating them was what kept them out of the playoff. But I think they may surprise a lot of people this year.
Last thing, John on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mel Law. How do you think Mullen does at UNLV this year?
I think he's going to do well. I think he's going to do well. I think, they brought in some interesting quarterback transfers. When they got Alex Orji from Michigan, I was thinking about Chris Ralph, who he had at Mississippi State, because those guys are pretty similar. And I mean, Mullen, I think they won 10 games in 2010 with Chris Ralph as their starting quarterback. But then they went and got Anthony Calandria from Virginia, who's this kind of like, he's one of those no, yes quarterbacks where he can make some crazy things happen, sometimes good, sometimes bad. I think he's going to wind up being the starter. And I'm excited to see what he does in Mullen's offense because I think that level is good for Mullen because the issue at Florida was never the on-field play calling, was never the X's and O's. It was talent acquisition. Well, at UNLV, that's an easier recruiting job than Mississippi State. He can go find players. He can use those evaluation skills that are better than most people's and get players that are better than people think they are. And I think that's the key. At a job like Florida, you still have to go get the 5-star that everybody else wants. And I think that's where he ran into trouble. I don't think he's having any trouble at all at UNLV. I'm excited to see him in that spot because also that league's wide open. Boise State loses Ashton Genty. Boise State's always going to be probably one of the best teams in that league, but there's no reason UNLV can't win it.
I agree with that. Andy, great stuff. Let everybody know how they can follow you on Twitter. And I think you changed the time of your show, correct?
We did. So I'm at Andy_Staples on Twitter. And then timing wise on the show, it drops now every day at 3 p.m. Eastern time on YouTube. That's the On3 Sports YouTube page. And if you just subscribe to that, it'll send you a note every time we come on. And we're on demand pretty much anytime. And then anywhere you get your podcast, just Andy and Ari on 3. And then subscribe to that and you won't miss one. So, and you also don't have to look at us in that one. So it's much easier.
Andy, appreciate your time, my friend. Have a good day.
Thanks, Shane. Appreciate it.
Andy Staples joined us on the Titan More Hotline courtesy of Comfort Temp. Ruse Ogre State Farm Office, a team of dedicated insurance professionals ready to help life go right with the right insurance options for you and your family. Visit ogreinsurance.com. Give them a call, 352-240-1779. I want to thank JC and Andy for joining us. We'll be here tomorrow, folks. Have a great day. Take care.